Today on Stretch Your Kitchen, it's Flava Flav. Okay, maybe not him, but this episode is packed with flavor, and I can't wait to share how building an understanding of flavors will help you stretch your grocery dollars, minimize food waste, and create satisfying, flavorful meals for you and your family. Great meals don't start in the grocery store. They start in your own kitchen. I'm Erica, and I'm on a mission to prove that thoughtful cooking isn't about buying more, but about using better. Welcome to Stretch Your Kitchen. Back in the day, there was this old show called Flavor of Love, starring none other than Flava Flav. It was a VH1 reality TV dating series that premiered in 2006, and it became a pop culture phenomenon, launching multiple spin-off series. Okay, it was a bit gratuitous, but it was mindless fun for a 20-something-year-old. Okay, well, maybe 30-something, but who's counting? I honestly think that the title was an ingenious play on words, Flavor of Love, because who doesn't have a love of flavor? I certainly do. I love food that is flavor forward. There's nothing better than that range of tastes and textures upon the first bite of a meal well planned and well executed. There's a reason why on every single cooking competition show, the primary goal of the competing chefs is always to try and build as much flavor as possible in the limited time the competition round offers. Flavor is essential to our enjoyment of food. When is the last time you went to a restaurant and ordered a bland chicken breast? I personally don't think that would be very appetizing. We seek flavor. What tantalizes the taste buds? What makes you want to dive in for that second bite? Yeah, today's episode isn't about that old show, Flavor of Love, but it is about flavor. I want you to begin thinking about how you can use items you already have on hand and incorporate your love of flavors into the meals that you create. So let's dive right into today's Kitchen Quest. The Kitchen Quest is where I tackle new topics each week to help you stretch your grocery dollars, minimize food waste, and turn what you already have on hand into delicious, flavorful meals. Everyone's palates are different. Some people have an affinity for spicy foods. Some crave sweets. Some like the Asian flavors, or others like Italian flavors. Everyone's palates are different. But I really believe that everyone's palate can grow. The only way that happens is by testing your palate and experimenting with new foods from different cultures. When you experiment with the flavors of various cultures around the world, it really builds an appreciation for flavor and it increases creativity in your own cooking. I'm sure you've heard the term flavor profile. Every meal has a certain flavor profile. Even alcohol has flavor profiles. It's what makes a reposado tequila taste different from a, say, tequila blanco, or what makes a Pinot Noir taste different from a Cabernet Sauvignon. Even individual ingredients have a unique flavor profile. But it's what you do with those ingredients, how you combine them, how you use them, that builds flavor and will bring a unique profile to whatever preparation it is that you're making, whatever meal you're cooking. Think Italian food, Mexican food, Moroccan food, Indian food, Greek food, etc. These are all type of world cuisines that have specific flavor profiles. That's what makes dishes easily recognizable. So a flavor profile is just a grouping of ingredients, how ingredients come together to help define the common flavors found within a specific cuisine. Here in Hawaii, where I live, we eat a lot of Japanese cuisine. What comes to mind when you think about the flavors that are inherent in most Japanese dishes? Well, we have seaweed and rice wine vinegar and shoyu, which is soy sauce, and ginger and wasabi. These are all common ingredients used in Japanese cooking that creates a Japanese flavor profile. What about Italian food? In Italian food, you'll often find combinations of tomatoes and balsamic vinegars, basil, parsley, thyme, mozzarella, parmesan, just to name a few. These are foods that, when combined, create an Italian flavor profile. Caribbean food has a very unique flavor profile as well. The flavors of the islands call to me like almost every single day. There's allspice and Scotch bonnet peppers and garlic and rum and jerk seasoning, corn, plantains, mace, passion fruit, mango, nutmeg, cloves, saffron, vanilla, coconut, citrus. I honestly could go on and on. Caribbean flavors are delicious. And any combination of those items, when put together, create a Caribbean flavor profile. I've explained previously that the mission of Stretch Your Kitchen is obviously to stretch those grocery dollars, eliminate food waste, prepare delicious meals using items that you already have on hand. Well, you're probably wondering then, how does having an understanding of flavor profiles help us to achieve that mission? It helps us because you can use what you already have on hand to turn one protein into any number of meals just by altering the flavor profile. Let's take two basic ingredients like chicken thighs and rice. Those are relatively inexpensive ingredients. So we tend to have them on hand, especially right now because chicken is one of the most economical proteins out there right now. And rice, especially when bought in bulk. I mean, I don't know if you can ever use all that rice. Believe me, you can, because I've done it. But I'm just saying it's a lot of rice. So suppose you bought a huge package of each in bulk, thereby saving money. You bought a huge package of chicken thigh, you've portioned it out and frozen them. And then you have a large portion of rice that you've added to your storage containers. Let's think about how we can turn these two basic ingredients, chicken and rice, into a number of different meals by altering the flavor profile. How about Indian food? A delicious chicken curry over rice. What about Caribbean? Caribbean jerk chicken with rice and pigeon peas. Italian, chicken piccata over rice. Japanese, shoyu chicken over rice. Chinese, lemon pepper chicken over rice. Cajun, chicken jambalaya. The basis of each dish is chicken and rice, but each dish offers a unique flavor profile, and it tastes like a brand new meal each night. When you understand flavor profiles, along with a few basic cooking techniques, you can provide a flavorful variety of meals to your family with simple, basic, less expensive ingredients that you already have on hand. Think about it. Chicken curry with rice. It involves simmering the chicken in Indian spices like curry powder, or you can make your own with turmeric, coriander, cumin, fenugreek if you had them on hand. Otherwise, a packaged curry powder works just as well. Other common additions might be ginger or black pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves. You could turn it Thai by adding some coconut milk, lime, and some Thai chilies. And then there's shoyu chicken, which is widely eaten here in Hawaii. It involves braising the chicken in perhaps a slow cooker using shoyu, which is soy sauce, sugar, rice vinegar, ginger, garlic, green onions, and then top it with some sesame seeds. Serve it over rice. Chinese lemon pepper chicken would involve breading and frying the chicken after cutting them into tenders, coating them in a simple lemon sauce made with chicken broth, lemon juice, white sugar, garlic, ginger, and white pepper, thickened with a bit of cornstarch. Caribbean jerk chicken is grilling the chicken with a jerk paste made with Scotch bonnet peppers, some oil, allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg, along with aromatic thyme and ginger and scallions. Of course, you might have a pre-made jerk seasoning on hand. That would work well too. Add some pigeon peas to the rice and yum. Jambalaya. Well, with jambalaya, we might sear the chicken in a Cajun seasoning before cooking it in with the rice. What about a chicken piccata? That's just pounding the chicken thin and shallow frying it before adding in a wine, garlic, lemon, parsley, and caper sauce. Here's the thing. When you're thinking about flavor profiles, there's actually no need to be overly authentic. It's all about the flavors of that culture. When you begin cooking with different flavor profiles, your family will love the variety that you bring to the table. And there's no need to follow a recipe. Just experiment with flavor profiles and see what you can create. Now, you might not have everything on hand. The goal is to just create a flavor profile that is unique and different for each meal that you create. You can use that same chicken and rice, but by varying the flavor profiles along with the cooking methods, you are able to serve up something new and delicious for your family. Now, I mentioned before that we rarely go out to eat, and that's because I aim to serve up meals to my family that pretty much mimic anything a restaurant could offer, and at a fraction of the price. I have been experimenting in flavor profiles for years, and over time, I've learned the basic flavors that make up a unique cuisine. I use what I have on hand and experiment to create something delicious. We've been talking about chicken and rice. Well, what if you had tilapia or pork on hand? You can use the same principles with any other protein. Just vary the flavor profiles and the cooking method, and you've got something new and delicious for your family. So we've seen that taking a basic protein and a basic starch can really create multiple meals. You just change the flavor direction. That's how you stretch your kitchen. But let's make this even more practical. Let's say you have ground beef. Most people have ground beef on hand in their refrigerator or freezer. So say you have ground beef and an onion and a bulb of garlic and a can of tomatoes. Well, that could easily become an Italian dish. Add some oregano, some basil, some olive oil, and Parmesan, and now you've got a beautiful pasta sauce. Serve over any pasta. Or you can turn that same ground beef, onion, garlic, and a can of tomatoes into a Mexican dish. Add cumin, chili powder, smoked paprika, and maybe lime. Now it's a taco filling. Or turn it Middle Eastern. Add some coriander and cinnamon, allspice, and maybe some fresh herbs. And now it's a kofta-style bowl. Serve with some hummus and pita chips, and that would make a delicious meal. These are the same basic ingredients, but 3 totally different meals. That is stretching your kitchen. Most global flavor profiles follow a pretty simple structure. There are always aromatics and fats and a spice or herb blend and acid and probably a fresh finish of some sort. Maybe it's herbs or yogurt or a cheese. Once you understand this structure, you really don't need a recipe. You just need to determine what flavor direction you'd like to go in. When you cook this way, you stop buying specialty ingredients for one recipe, and you stop feeling boxed in by specific directions. And you stop wasting half-used items like herbs or sauces. Instead, you build a pantry of flavor families. And suddenly, leftovers aren't boring. They're just waiting for a new passport. So I just think that the big takeaway here is that stretching your kitchen isn't about restricting yourself. It's about learning the language of flavor. Because when you understand flavor profiles, you can stop following recipes and start creating meals. And that is where confidence in the kitchen lives. When you really begin to understand flavor profiles, you open a world of creativity in your kitchen. You're able to provide flavorful meals for your family using what you have on hand, thereby minimizing waste and saving money. This is truly a way to stretch your kitchen. So now it's time for this week's culinary concern. The weekly culinary concern allows me the opportunity to answer your questions and share more ways to help you stretch your kitchen. If you're feeling inspired, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Visit StretchYourKitchen.com and please follow me on Facebook and Instagram at StretchYourKitchen for more tips, tools, and helpful takeaways to minimize waste and maximize flavor. Here's a question you might have. I've never really experimented with foods from many cultures, so how do I get started if I don't have all those flavors on hand? Well, if there's one thing I'm going to recommend spending money on, it's spices and seasonings. These are the basis of flavorful food. Here's a thought. What if you could just start by adding 3 spices to your grocery cart every time you made a trip? Just 3. Think about flavor profiles that you might like to experiment with basic proteins and starches that you already have on hand. Start by adding just 3 or 4 seasonings or spices to your grocery cart every time you shop. Think about a flavor profile that you might like to experiment with and what might go well with proteins or starches or vegetables that you already have on hand. Then purchase them. If you did this for the next 6 to 8 grocery trips, suddenly you'd have a cabinet with 25 to 30 spices and seasonings or more. Since you only use a little bit of seasoning or spice each time you prepare a meal, seasonings and spices are an investment in flavor for months to come. Your spice cabinet is the secret toward creativity and variety in your cooking. I cannot wait to answer some of your culinary concerns, but for now, let's move on to this week's Triple T takeaway. Each week, I'll leave you with my Triple T takeaway. That's tips, tools, or tasks to begin implementing the Stretch Your Kitchen lifestyle. These simple takeaways prove that thoughtful cooking isn't about buying more, but about using better. This week's Triple T takeaway is all about experimentation. I want you to let go of a traditional preparation that you plan to make this week. Decide on a flavor profile that you'd like to experiment with or one that you think your family might enjoy. Maybe you've gone out to eat in the past and really love Moroccan cuisine. Or maybe you really love Chinese food, but you don't need to order out. Get creative. I've provided a guide to flavor profiles on StretchYourKitchen.com. It's a free download. This should get you started on creating new and exciting meals for you and your family. Experiment this week. Take a basic protein and a basic vegetable or a basic starch and examine some different flavor profiles. I think you and your family might be a little bit surprised at how easy it is to offer up a variety of meals with just a little bit of creativity and an understanding of flavor profiles. Now, remember, the trick is to use what you already have on hand. You don't need to incorporate every single spice or seasoning that makes up a specific culture's flavor profile. It's about the lean toward a specific flavor profile, along with the manipulation of starches or vegetables or proteins that you're using. Just lean into the flavors of that culture. You will quickly begin to see that a variety of flavorful meals, not just your good old recipes on repeat, are on the horizon for your family, all while stretching your grocery dollars and minimizing food waste. That's all for this week's episode of Stretch Your Kitchen. Next week on Stretch Your Kitchen, it's shop till you drop. Actually, it's shop till you stop. I'm going to share some ideas that might make you rethink the way you shop in order to stretch your grocery dollars, minimize food waste, and serve up delicious meals for you and your family. Thank you for listening to Stretch Your Kitchen. If you enjoyed this episode or feel that it would be useful to someone else, please leave a review on Podchaser and follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Stretch Your Kitchen. And remember, thoughtful cooking isn't about buying more, but about using better.